Welcome back. You're watching The Dr. Nandi Show. Now, raising children is a daunting task, and every day there are new challenges, right? Now, our first guests, Caro and Erin Taylor, are two experts to help us navigate raising healthy and well-rounded children. And who doesn't want that, right? So welcome to the show, Sue and Erin. Thank you so much for joining us. Erin and Sue. Awesome. Thank you. So tell me about your mission. I know a little bit about it, but tell the folks at home a little bit about what you're doing, and it's extremely enriching. Tell us all about it.
Thank you. We're honored to share. Erin and I co-founded a company called Building Connected Communities, and we are a global hub of helping professionals who are really navigating life in families, or helping to navigate
Very
life
challenging.
in families,
Yeah.
to support the parents who are trying to raise their children.
And so what made you do this? I mean, you could do so many other things, and I'm sure you're busy like every other person on the planet. So why, Erin, was it so important for you guys?
Well, we are passionate about changing the world and making it a better place. And we kind of both felt that the most effective way to do that would be to help families, because children are our next generation. They're our future.
And as I said in the top of the show, that as a physician, I really believe that the health of our children and our society really, rests on us as parents. If we give teach kids the right attitudes, the right knowledge, I think we can really build a great future. And so what are your biggest takeaways from what you've learned so far? What can we take away from some of the information that you have learned from your mission?
I think the most important things that we've learned is that it really comes down to three questions. Every child, and every adult for that matter, wants to know, am I seen, am I heard, and am I valued?
Seen, heard, or valued. Okay. And so as parents, if we don't address those needs, the kids don't feel fulfilled. And so that's really important for you who are watching. A lot of times, I think parents sometimes feel like if they're there, then that's all they need to do. If you are on your smartphone or your whatever device of the day, right, and your kids are nearby, they don't feel wanted, they don't feel heard, they don't feel like they're valued. So it's really important. So which leads me to technology, right? So pervasive. And I started off the show intentionally with a smartphone because all of us are so plugged in. How is that affecting how we parent?
It's hugely affecting how we parent. I think the most important thing as parents that we can do is model for our children the ways in which we expect them to use technology in our own behaviors.
So when we're lying in bed with them, telling them something, important, but we have our phone next to them and we glance at it every time to make sure nobody's really put a Facebook post that's really compelling, it's not the modeling you want.
Not the modeling.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing, as parents, we need to look at technology in a positive way and learn how to engage in it in our lives and our families with boundaries, but also with connection, because it really can be such a connecting force with our children if we allow it to be, if we sit with them and learn why this particular game is so important instead of screaming, get off the game.
Yeah, and both our sons, my wife and I, Callie and I, were playing this, tracing the alphabet game, which before the advent of some of this technology with iPads you didn't have. So you're absolutely right. We do have a social media question, from Brenda, and she's on Facebook. Says, I can't seem to get my kids off of their technology. What can I do? So that's a good question. What do you think? What advice would you give Brenda?
That's a great question. And one of the things I would suggest to Brenda is that rather than looking at how can I get them off of technology, I would encourage her to see how she can use technology as a tool to connect with them. So maybe sit down and ask them what they're doing, watch a video with them if they're on YouTube, or ask them to show her how to play the game that they're playing on Xbox or whatever they're playing on their iPad, and really sit down and bond with them and give them some time to play, but she's there with them.
Got it. So, so the idea is that you're not really missing out on anything. You're incorporating what they're doing with something you're doing. The other thing I will tell people, though, is that I just set limits, though. You cannot have your child 8 hours a day sitting on that iPad, because guess what? They're great babysitters, right? We all know you give them that game, they're good to go. And they get up, they get up like fish for, you know, no, not like fish, but for humans like for air, and they're back down. So they come out for a little food or something, and they're back down. That's not the way I think you should do it. But absolutely incorporating the technology to make it part of yours is awesome.